How long have you been doing the home warranty work now?
From the get-go, from 17 years.
17 years from the very first year you've been doing home warranty work.
Very first day on to start my own company, I got signed up with 3 or 4 different warranty companies, and it's just gradually grown since then.
So I know some of we're gonna retouch on stuff that we probably said before, but to lay the groundwork here skillfully, we must do that. So were you lured, not lured, were you urged to branch out by the warranty companies? They say, why don't you start your own company and we'll hire you? How did that work?
So I was working for one of the companies I was working for before I got my contractor's license. I don't know. The way it was again 20 years ago, the with every time you're on the service call, you had to call into the warranty companies and get authorization and approval. And like now you can submit everything online. You don't have to wait for authorization and approval. If you can fix it while you're there, fix it and move on. And
That's
but
nice.
anyway, so I got to know a lot of the people in the authorizations departments and just started talking one day when I was with, just getting authorization, just asked what it takes to get work with them. And they just told me you need your auto insurance and general liability and workers' comp to match whatever the requirements were, and they'll just give you work for free. And you don't have to pay to get leads or whatever with some of those other companies out there. And
Home advisors.
yeah, exactly. Every time they call me, I hang up the phone as soon as I realize who was calling me. And but yeah, so I got.
Wait, hold on a second. You know, people feel about home warranty like you feel about home advisor.
Oh, I know.
They feel the same way about it.
It's a completely different thing, though. I mean, I don't have to pay with home warranties to get leads. I mean, they literally give you the work, and as long as you're not sitting there saying the unit needs to be replaced because it's 20 years old, I mean, if you can go out there and fix it, change a contactor, change a motor, whatever, and get the air conditioner running, bill it out, and for a couple, a few $100, whatever, and keep the average at a certain, somewhere around $350-$400 per call by the end of the year, then I mean they'll just keep throwing work at you.
So you kind of you keep this in mind while you're doing the work. So, all right, I need to think about where I've been with a bunch of stuff, and that's kind of like a little bit of a juggling act.
Yeah, like if you go on a call and all it was like a blown fuse, or you get there and the homeowner left the fan in the on position and they said that the system won't ever shut off, and you click it from fan to auto and the whole thing shuts off. Like ones like that, I'll bill out for like, lower than I would for the rest of them, just because I was there for 15 minutes, and instead of ones where like if I change the motor or something, then keep those. I mean it's a balancing act, but
yeah. Well, and some of it's it's fate. What are you going to do when the compressor's dead? You're not like, well, I'm just going to change your thermostat and we'll keep numbers down. It still won't work afterwards.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of times like I mean there's some. Like in some of the winter months, I mean, you get a heat exchanger that costs $400 or $500. I mean, and so you got to pay for the part, you got to mark it up. So I mean, there's some so you got to like kind of balance the summer months a little to kind of make up for the winter months for like when you hit those bigger parts that just you don't have a choice but to work around. Because you can't put some duct tape on a heat exchanger because that definitely won't work.
That's true. I mean, it's not recommended. I mean, you can use that foil tape. I mean, but I don't know how well that's going to work. The adhesive may liquefy.
I've been doing this 20 years. I've seen one. I've run into it once, and it blew my mind when I saw it because I just, you see pictures on the internet. People can fake stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't believe it until you actually see it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh! I can't believe somebody attempted to do this.
See, everybody just take stock of that. It's a home warranty contractor amazed at the bad work.
Exactly.
Well, over the years, like I said, the way you process stuff at the beginning is not the way you process stuff now. What's the main difference? Is it faster to be a contractor with guys like American Home Shield now, where it's expedited?
So now I'm at the point where I'm actually a top preferred contractor with American Home Shield. So I'm at the very top of the list for when homeowners like submit sorry, I didn't even hit the microphone. I'm waving my hands all over the place, but
I didn't even notice it. I thought it was just for accent for emotional effect.
But so like a lot of times homeowners will request a work order online, and just say the system isn't cooling or whatever, and so they have a generated system, and I'm at the very top of the list. So I get like there's a certain guaranteed amount of calls per day that I have set. And I think I take like I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 10, depending on time of year or whatever. And then once it hits my max per day, then they go to the next guy in the line. And so, I mean, because like I think I started, it was like a month or so ago, I got my preferred status with American Home Shield, and I'm guaranteed 1,000 calls at a minimum for the year.
Wow. 1,000 calls. So
if you think about it, I mean,
that's 3 calls a day, basically.
Yeah, and well, that, and if you think about it, $1,000, I mean, 1,000 calls. I mean, even if you want it's $85 just to knock on the door. I mean, so you multiply that times 1,000, that's $85,000. I mean, so.
Yeah, and if you're making an average of $400 per call at 1,000, that's 400,000.
Exactly.
And that's better than I did already. I mean, of course, that's a gross, and that doesn't detail everything. It's a good number to start with.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that's changed over the years between 20 years ago and now?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the because like 20 years ago, you had to call in everything for authorizations. You had to call in approval, and and a lot of them used to order parts for you. Now they won't, because things are getting more expensive. I mean, because they used to, variable speed motor cost almost $1,000. My cost.
Yeah.
And so, they used to, I would, if I'd run into a variable speed motor, I'd have the home warranty order it, because if I don't have to spend $1,000, I don't want to.
Amen.
And so, but now I have to, so they've changed a lot of that, like over the past few years. And depending on the contracts with different homeowners, some of them have like Freon coverage where they don't have to pay for anything. And then some of them only have, I say, when I say it to a homeowner, I tell them they only cover a little bit. With a lot of the contracts with American Home Shield and some of the other ones, they only cover $10 a pound, and then homeowners pay the cost difference. Great thing about that is I can charge retail to the homeowner for the Freon. So
yeah. Wow. Okay. So things have gotten better in general.
Yeah.
Since the very beginning. Is there anything that's gone downhill?
Not really. I mean, if anything, it's gotten better. I mean, so. And the communication a lot of times is easier because, again, you can submit everything online. And like there's a dispatch program we use. It's called Dispatch Me, and it's kind of, there's a couple other ones that are similar to it. I don't know what the names of them are, but the great thing is once you have all the information, like with like American Home Shield and a couple other ones, use that same dispatch program. So when they send the work orders over, all the information is already in the work order on that dispatch program. So I don't have to input anything to the computer or on my phone or anything. And then like once we have it scheduled, when we're like on the way to the homeowner's house, it'll send them a text message from the dispatch program that says, hey, your technician from Flowertown Heating and Air is on the way. And it'll give like a GPS link that they can click to see how far away I am and everything else. And
wow.
Oh yeah, communication, it helps tremendously, because I mean, like I'd say like 15, 16 years ago when I started getting really busy, and before this dispatch program was even a thing, like I would get like, it'd be probably like 20 calls in the morning. And my wife, she had, I remember, I won't ever forget it because it was a composition notebook. She would write down each information on the call and the homeowner's name, the claim number, and all that other stuff. And she'd have like 4 per page, and she'd send me like 4 pages of calls. That's 16 calls I'd have to schedule. And because she would take pictures and text them to me, and then I would sit there and schedule them all, and I'd make notes, and I'd send it all back to her, and then she'd send me more later in the afternoon. I mean, it was chaos. It was nuts.
That is wild. I remember starting out with writing everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, I used to have a schedule book that I used to write everything down in, and
man, really old.
Oh, exactly.